What's up guys, my name is Shawn Cantrell and I'm the leader of the Schools and Sports program over here at H&H Color Lab, and today I want to talk with you about how to sell sports photos in the high school market. So let's get to it. All right, so when we talk about sports photography and sports photos, there's so many different opportunities out there. There's the team and individual youth photos, YMCA stuff, there's media day, banners, portraits, action sports, you name it. There's lots of different ways to be a sports photographer. And so what I want to focus on today is how the sports photographers that I'm working with are able to maximize sales when they're photographing high school sports. I'm talking about the JV, varsity, freshmen, those types of teams, on photographing the teams and the individuals. When you are the sports photographer for a high school, typically you're gonna have a few seasons. You're gonna have a fall, winter, spring season that you're gonna be going back and photographing. In the fall, there's gonna be things like football, volleyball, cross country, a few other things that I can't think of, softball. If I'm not naming your sport, please don't hurt me. But what I'm getting at is there's a few different sports for each season. And so you'll go through this for each season, and sometimes you'll have athletes that'll play in multiple seasons, and that's great. But let's zoom in on, let's just say fall sports, for instance here. When you're photographing that, usually you're not able to photograph all those teams in a single day. You're gonna go in, you're gonna photograph the football team, and then a few days later, you're gonna be able to come back and photograph the volleyball team. And then next week or week after that, finally the cross country uniforms come in. I don't know why those always take so long, but they get in and then you're able to photograph them. And it's not just a single day, it's a multi-day journey, a multi-week journey to be able to photograph everyone. And to coordinate all of those sales can really be difficult, if I'm being honest. And so what a lot of photographers will do is they will either try to set up different sites for each of those teams and hand out the different links for the different teams. And that can be a lot to manage and not mess up, if I'm being honest. But it also makes it a lot to manage. You're setting up a lot of stuff, each with its own price list, its own marketing, its own, publish and expire, and then what happens after picture day. What about those folks that didn't pre-order but are deciding they're willing to order once they do see the pictures after picture day? There's just a lot to manage. And so what I want to show you is how in Imago we can manage that with a single link to run through all those different picture day sales. So let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is go into your organization, and this is that high school. So I've got Southwest High School as my example school here. You can see this is the organization I've got set up for them. So any job, any project that I'm photographing at this school is going to end up on this page. And that just makes it helpful for the school when they're helping market picture days. They don't have to have all those links. They can just have this one link, and it just funnels them into all those pages as needed. Here, you can check that out. That's really boring, but you guys get the idea. Let me get back to it. When we're in this, we want to click on create a new project, and we're going to start from scratch here. And this is going to be our Southwest Fall 2025 sports photos, right? And you can be as elaborate or simple as you want. I would suggest keeping it with the name and the year in there so that you're not getting confused with other seasons, the winter sports, next year's fall sports, if you're keeping this open that long. So keep it named so it makes sense to you and to your customers, more importantly. Let's throw in a URL. So Southwest Fall 25 sports. That looks good. This is school sports. There are, I think, 150 athletes we're photographing that day. And now here is where I'm gonna choose the journey. And if you're new to journeys, this is what is that customer experience you want for ordering the sports pictures you're gonna be photographing. We've got a few different options to choose from here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down to this multi-day pre-sale opportunity. So check this out. Let's look at this journey right here. You can see we've got a published date that's going to start this pre-sale opportunity before picture day. And that's going to continue running through multiple uploads until that last picture day. And then what's happening a little bit in parallel, but after that will be that gallery sale for, like I said, folks that want to wait till after picture day to see their pictures and then order. But you'll notice this overlap here. That's what I really want to focus on here. This is the magic of this particular type of journey. What you can see here is once we have that first picture day, then parents are going to be able to go on and view their pictures and order after the fact for those that were photographed from that first day. But at the same time, those that have yet to be photographed, those that are going to get their pictures taken next week, let's just say, can still continue pre-ordering at that same time. So this one URL can manage both opportunities with just a choice of either enter your access code or click the link below to pre-order. So this is the journey that I want. This is the experience I want for that sale. And if you're not sure, you can click learn more and dive into a few more details, but this is what I want. I'm gonna hit continue here. Then from there, what I need to know is when is that first picture day. The first one is gonna be usually for folks in the Midwest area, I'm hearing it's gonna be like the last week of July, first week of August. So let's keep things simple. Let's do that first week of August. And then last picture day. Now, it doesn't matter if you're going back 2, 3, 5, 7 times, and if you're a 7-time person, bless you. Whatever that range is, we just need to know when's the bookends here. When's the first picture day and when's that last picture day. So I'm gonna put in the last one here, and that's gonna run the last one talking to that cross-country coach. I'm picking on cross-country because I don't like running. You can probably tell that. So let's go to October 2nd. All right, so there's those 2 picture day dates are in there. That's the bookends for picture day here and last picture day. Now we just need to plug in when's the first time they can start pre-ordering. We're gonna back up a couple weeks from that first picture day. And then when's the last time they can order. We're gonna let that run through the fall season and they can order, up until Christmas, let's say. Okay, now we just need to choose what sales are we gonna be offering. So for that pre-sale, we want to use the get in the game price list that I've got set up here. And then for the other one, we're going to do this gallery sale. And now I've got my 2 sales set in there. Now I just got to plug in my marketing. If you've got access codes, if you're password protecting or using access codes to make it easy for folks to find pictures they care about. Obviously, there's going to be ways to communicate that in Imago here with the email and text marketing. But if you want to add a little subtle reminder for folks on where they can look for that information, you can put that in right here. Now below, we have what questions do you want to ask. First name, last name, obviously are given. Also put in what team does your child play on? All right, and we're going to map that to the team name. Lots of choices here. All these options here match up with the H&H Schools field, so we make sure there's complete handoff on all data between the 2 systems. Let's plug in some options for them to choose from. So let's go freshman, C team, JV, and varsity. So now we give them a few options and a drop down to pick. We can also then ask, what position and map that to the position field. We'll leave that one optional. All right, then down below we can have, this is where we get to personalize that page before they log in to see any other information, important FAQs, some things they need to know. You can have this typed up and copy and paste it in. You can save this as a preset, so it makes it even easier. You don't have to fill all this stuff out. You can just answer a few quick questions and move right on. I'm showing you the first time experience here. So put in some information that you want. Obviously, you're gonna be able to come back and adjust this as needed. But once you have that filled in, then you can click create. Oh, yeah, you should probably publish the picture day before the actual picture day. That would be a good idea. So our system here is checking to make sure I didn't mess up like I did, and it's helping me out here. There we go. Let's hit create and let's make sure we're happy with all these results. All right, project's been created, fantastic. And now we can come in and we can download the QR code if we want to use for any printed marketing materials. You can start passing that out. Here's a link that you can start sending out or have the school post as needed. But then down here, we can get a little bit closer view on all the marketing and sales activities that are going to be happening for the entire life of this project. And we can see the pre-sale is going to begin, what the different marketing that's going to go out there. There's picture day. Yes, that's how I want that. Then we're going to have the additional sales start to kick in and all the different details from there. I like that. That looks good. Now I can even save this and use it again for other fall projects or even the winter projects going to be doing later this year. So let's call this high school. So now I've got this created as a preset and I can use this to create a bunch more projects without having to go rebuild the wheel every single time. And I can make sure that they all are working how I want them to work in concert with each other. And that's it. Your sports project is ready to run. If you like what you see here and are ready to get started using Imago, then sign up using the link below and I'll see you in the next video.